Hey guys, welcome to Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast YouTube channel. All the fun things that we do. I don't do many interviews, at least not lately. It's been Amanda and I. We do our fun thing, and she writes her content. I'm there for colorful commentary. But if I do my marketing DNA test, I know I'm really good at live conversations, and I'm able to, I have fun with that kind of stuff. And so I want to do more interviews. And today I get to interview a good friend of mine. And the reason I wanted to interview, his name is Jake. He is a serial entrepreneur of Gathering the Kings. It's a community that I'm a part of. I don't just tell people to join communities or be a part of things. I actually do what I say I'm going to do. And so I'm a part of this tribe of entrepreneurs and people that want to win in all areas is what that's his hope. And he co-founded Gathering the Kings with his friend Chaz. He's the integrator. If you know anything about the EOS method, there's the visionary and the integrator. He's on that. He makes things happen. You need both. As you know, if you've watched any of our stuff, you know that Amanda is more in that regard. And he's passionate about seeing entrepreneurs and business owners thrive, not just barely survive. Fun thing too, he also goes to our church virtually. I go to a thing called Crossroads here in Cincinnati, and he's a part of that. So we're going to have fun. But as you're coming in, make sure you write questions in the comments, do a thumbs up, share this video. We really want this content not to just be something you consume, but something that really impacts you. And so that way you can impact others. So with that, Jake, welcome to the show.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Super excited to be here.
So not everybody knows Jake, but you know us very well. We've been a part of your community. And what would you say? Well, tell me a little bit of how you started this whole thing, Gathering the Kings. What is it? It sounds kind of like cultish. What is it?
Yeah, I appreciate the tee up there. Gathering the Kings is an entrepreneurial community. We're a mastermind program that is just really, really passionate about helping business owners and entrepreneurs win in what we call all areas of life. It doesn't matter if the bank account has a bunch of zeros in it and you don't have a home life, or your health is poor, or you're not giving back to your community. That doesn't look like success for us. And so we blur the lines between winning in business and then also being very involved in winning at home, winning in your faith, your spirituality, winning in your health. And we just want good lifestyles for people.
Why is that such a big passion for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. I had the opportunity to live in a household where my dad was just really successful. We moved a lot growing up, and he just continued to climb the rung and the ladder of success. And he did just this incredible job of providing opportunities and experiences for my brother and I as he continued to flourish in his career. But he was also traveling all the time, and he was seldom home. And, I look back at the things that he had to miss out on as he was pursuing success for our family. And it breaks my heart, because those are moments and memories that he's never going to be able to get back as a father. And so we're just passionate about making sure that our generation of business owners, our generation of men and women and entrepreneurs are not missing those special moments, because time ain't slowing down for anyone, Brandon. So we need to make sure that we're capturing it.
Do you feel like it's going faster? I feel like sometimes it's going way faster. I'm like, what
Absolutely.
the heck? Is there something that happened in the space-time continuum or something? I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I don't know.
Funny story.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, when I was a little boy, I wanted to turn 10 so bad. that birthday between 9 and 10 felt like a really big deal for me because I was double digits. And the thing that I wanted for my 10th birthday was a watch. And my grandmother, being the greatest grandmother in the world, she got me a Swiss Army knife or a Swiss Army watch for my 10th birthday. And I just remember as she was giving me this gift, her talking to me about measuring time and how as a young boy, I felt like time was slow, but that the older I get, the less time that I would have. And that's such sage advice, sage wisdom. She's 100% right about that.
So speaking of time, what do you think about I know you're a big fan of EOS, and you're an integrator. If you guys haven't read that, I think it's there's Traction by EOS, but there's another one, I think Rocket Fuel or something like that. And it talks about integrator and visionary.
Yep.
And in that, there's the rocks. How do you use time in your favor versus the other way?
Yeah, I think first of all, what a great question. But it's understanding that time is a precious commodity. It's the greatest resource that we have access to. And so it's living intentionally. It's being intentional about how you plan your day, the action steps that you're taking inside of your businesses on a daily basis, because what we know about time is it's the most perishable thing. We don't get it back. We can't bank 5 hours today for tomorrow. And so making sure that when we're setting up inside of the EOS system specifically, our quarterly rocks, making sure that we're being intentional about accomplishing things, being on the same page about the goals that we need to accomplish, and then creating an environment where everyone on the team is in lockstep moving towards accomplishing those things. Because if you just allow the year to happen without any type of planning or any type of goals, you're going to pick your head up and it's going to be the middle of May and you're going to wonder what has happened to the first 5 months of the year.
I still wonder that, even though I am with time. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I do get goals done, but I'm like, oh, man. And so as you've been going through this, and this is something I know you very well, but our audience may not. Why is this a passion for you? Like, what was there something? I know you're some family issues, but why business owners? Why not? I don't know, doing missions work or things like that. Like, what is the driver for Jake?
Yeah. Oh man, what is the driver for Jake? Well, I think that entrepreneurs, and specifically the entrepreneurial community, we're creators. We are the engine behind the economy in the United States. We are what makes everything great. Jeff Bezos had a dream and he started selling books out of his garage. And that was a small business that started with the seed of a thought and turned into this global Goliath that now is Amazon. Right. And so every business owner has the opportunity to create something of massive impact. And so I just feel like that entrepreneurial community is the best way to serve multiple communities, businesses, areas of the country quickly. Yeah. I've done missions work in the past. I've as you mentioned, I've been a serial integrator. I've lived all across the United States, helping business owners turn around and develop systems inside of their businesses. And that's a lot of fun. It's great, but being able to work specifically with business owners and have them, preach the gospel of Jake, if you will, or preach the gospel of gathering the kings inside of their own communities. It's such a rewarding thing to see businesses change and through that communities flourish.
So what have you seen as you've been working with clients and individuals, and you're kind of like me in that I see behind the curtain financially, some things that I'm like, yeah, most people are this way. Or they'll put on their YouTube voice. We are on YouTube. Listen to my voice. What I've learned actually, and this is just something that is really interesting and a compliment to me, is they always tell me, you're actually the same person when I talk to you on YouTube and when I watch you on YouTube and whenever you're when we see in person. And sometimes people have their voice, YouTube voice, the one that is, hey, look at my TikTok thing and everything's perfect. Yeah. What have you seen that has been the I don't know how to say this, the things that hinder people from this great life, winning in all areas, to not? What's been one of the, hey, that's all, I see that every time?
Yeah. So I'm going to answer your question, but before I answer your question, I want to address this like YouTube voice thing. I think that it is just so important to be authentic. And the reason why I'm drawn to you and drawn to Amanda is because you are authentic. The person that you are in those one-on-one business meetings is the same person as you are when you're in front of a crowd performing, or not performing, but presenting on infinite banking, or in a small group environment talking about your faith. And so I think authenticity is such an underrated thing. We believe that in order to be successful, we have to put in this creator hat. We have to have this online persona and online personality. And, I just don't want to be fake. I want to be real. I want to be authentic, and I want real and authentic people around me, which is why, like I said, I just appreciate you and Amanda so much. Awesome. Now, to answer the question, like, what do I see as a common thread for entrepreneurs? And one of the biggest leverage points that they have access to, it's how they plan. It's how they set up their systems. It's how they develop intentionality inside of not only their businesses, but inside of their personal lives, and how they manage their families.
So the ones that are, they kind of, maybe they got into some money, or they're, I don't know what to say, they're half-assing. Yeah. And you can bleep me if you need to. I don't know. I think it's okay to say that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So if not, this is a PG show. Right. But like they're not doing it fully, or they're like, hey, it's okay. And so I see a lot of people, business owners, that are like, oh, I'm all in one area, but they're halfway in another. And or they're like all in with the family and the business, but the faith side is different, or they're the health side. And so how have you been able to come alongside and say, hey, by the way, here's where I'm at, here's where I need to go, or where you need to go. How has community helped build this in other business owners? Because you work also, if you guys don't know, GTK, Gathering the Kings, isn't just people who are all running roofing companies. They're very different businesses. But what have you seen the theme, or I don't know how to say this, a constant that you've been like, man, it's like herding cats?
Yeah. We do a lot with personality profiling. Well, we specifically use a tool called the Predictive Index, and all personality types have 4 different personality traits. And this may be in the weeds a little bit, but what we find as a common thread with business owners is they all have high autonomy, and they all have low conformity, right? And what that means is they're willing to take risks. They're willing to bet on themselves, but they don't want to be put inside of a box. They don't want to do it your way, which causes people to want to buck the system and go do it themselves. And that's incredible. That's where real magic happens and real creation happens. But what we know is, for sustained success, there need to be systems. To your point, there's a statistic, and I'm gonna botch it because I don't know the exact statistic, but like 93% of lottery owners are broke within 5 years of getting their big windfall. And that's because there's no intentionality about what they're doing with the resources that they have available to them. They're winging it in life. and you come into this windfall of money, and it's like, oh, I'm going to buy mom a house, and oh, I'm going to pay for this fancy vacation, and oh, I'm going to like have all of these really nice things. I'm going to up level my wardrobe, or I'm going to buy a bunch of nice watches or cars or whatever it is, with little understanding that money is not replacing itself, and so they're not investing properly.
Yeah.
And so it's just a lack of intentionality in life.
Yeah, that's why I think, again, our book with 5 Smooth Stones, it's living intentionally. And I would add and say that oftentimes that's why people are where they're at, is because they weren't intentional.
Yeah. I love in 5 Smooth Stones how you guys have distilled this down into what you guys call the still method. Can you talk a little bit about how the still method plays into intentionality?
Yeah. So with the still, it's setting your sights, tracking, inspecting your progress, looking for 1%, and living deliberately.
Yeah, having a plan.
Having a plan. And so the reason I joined Gathering the Kings actually it was probably December, I believe. And I was looking and saying, what do I want to do? I'm ending this year. I want to do something to move me in a different direction or better direction. And so I was intentional about what I was going to do. And you probably know when I joined, it was December right before because of taxes. And it was because we were going through the still method and saying, okay, what can I do to level up in business and community? And so that also affects the other areas. And so that's part of why we say practice what we preach. But most people, I would argue, are sleepwalking through life. And everybody's, what is that song? Everybody's living for the weekends.
Yes.
Great song, not a great mantra to live by. I want to be able to say, this is amazing. This is what we did on Monday or whatever, and being looking forward to those things. And that's something I think that is hard in our world, or even in business where we are with the YouTube lifestyle. It's all about the bling, right? Showing, hey, look at this cool thing. Look at this Rolls Royce, or I don't know, whatever we had, because that's what gets clicks. And that's been hard for us, being intentional. And at sometimes, I went on the trip last year for the family mastermind, and one of my family members said, must be nice that you get to do all those things. I was like, well, I live in a small house. I have done certain things to do other things, and that's an intentional choice. So anyway, that's how I've lived it, and been a part of GTK because of it. So,
yeah, the purpose that Gathering the Kings serves for entrepreneurs like yourself is we're trying to curate rooms. You had mentioned earlier that it's just not all roofers. We have a very eclectic mix of business owners. We believe that there's so much to learn from each other, that being in environments where you're talking to people in different industries and different parts of the country that are serving different sectors, that you can learn so much from each other just by being open and vulnerable.
Yeah.
I've had just some tragic things happen in my own personal life around marriages and divorces. And I've been able to survive all of those heartaches in my life because of the community of people that I've surrounded myself with. But just because you have a community isn't enough. You have to show up. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to serve. You have to be willing to give. And through that process, there can be healing, there can be learning, there can be growth, which is what we're doing inside of the environment that we're creating with Gathering the Kings.
The other thing I've seen is, we're both part of the same faith community. Yep. And you do it virtually. I'm here close by. It's close by to my house. But even then, I can be in a small group and they all work for corporate. And we still have those same maybe beliefs, but there's something about being a business owner and, having to, when someone says, well, I don't like the man. The man is evil. I'm like, well, technically we are the man, because I employ people and, that kind of thing. And so there's a lot more challenges that we have to face, because if I don't get sales, I don't make payroll.
Right.
Not just for me, but for our team.
Yeah.
And there's a different challenge that entrepreneurs and business owners face that not just everybody doesn't deal with. Have you seen that as you've been kind of wrestling with your faith, maybe talking in men's group, the church people? Well, I'm not talking about GTK, Gathering the Kings.
Yeah.
But has that been like a challenge? Yeah, maybe 10 years ago, thinking about that kind of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, for a long time in my career, I was a fixer in the hospitality industry, and I was going around and turning around underperforming hotels. And so in different environments across the country, in different communities across the country, and dealing with different sectors of employees or different groups of employees. And there is this common thread that, as an employee, you just don't have to have the same level of stress.
Mm-hmm.
They might be dealing with concerns around their family and concerns around their community. But the added layer to being a business owner is that it goes back to that creation thing that I was talking about before. To your point, Brandon, you've got to get sales, because if you don't get sales, you have families that are counting on you that will not eat tomorrow. And that is just a whole different level of weight. It's a whole different level of commitment. And the majority of people will never understand what that pressure is. They'll never understand waking up at 2 a.m., wondering how you're going to pay the bills, hoping that the check clears tomorrow morning so you can process payroll, because, we don't get into this to be shady business owners and to screw people over. And so you want to make sure that you're taking care of the people that are working for you. It's a big weight.
Yeah.
Being able to be in a room with like-minded individuals who are experiencing that same thing, there's some freedom in that. You can kind of let down your armor, and you guys are all talking shared experiences. Yeah. Inside of the church, unfortunately, right now in America, I just don't think that we're doing a good job of serving the entrepreneurial community.
Yeah, and I was in there as a church planner. We've ran a business coffee shop, which you guys know, which was good. I do think this is a kingdom thing for us. It's a faith thing. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah, which is amazing that I get to. But that's where I see, like, honestly, there's times where I'm like, talking to clients and they're crying, right? And these are, not on a Sunday morning kind of thing. And that's both powerful and sometimes even in that we did a thing with you guys on a trip, and just being open and saying, I had to fire this person and do all this. And sometimes people see business owners and say, you're just in it for yourself. I'm like, yep, there is. I want to make again, overflow. I want to take care of me. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that the business is surviving. And I've had to fire people, and it's not easy. Right. And we want to be wanted too. I think so. That's one of the reasons I think that having hard or deep relationships with people that say, you need to step up here. You need to fire that person, or you need to hire that person. You need to stop controlling everything is a big deal. And it's not always the same answer. What have you seen? And I know you've seen some failures, or not. I don't know if I'd say failures, but what have been some of the things that you've seen in the course of GTK is 3 years old? What are some things that you're like, man, I wish this would have happened? They're still living their story, but you saw some things that you're like, they missed it. And what's some things where you've said, on the flip side, those guys got it?
Yeah. I think that failure is such an interesting lens for some people, failure is crushing and it's defeating. And for some people, failure is opportunity and it's learning. Mm-hmm. And so being able to have the right mindset around growth and failure is important. Certainly, there are things 3 years into the business that we look back and say, man, we wish we would have done this earlier, or we wish we would have invested in this now. But those lessons are what make us stronger now and what allows us to build to the future. And so, I'm not one person typically that has regrets in my life. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And so trying to make sure that I approach things with this abundance learning mentality as opposed to, sky has fallen, chicken little, doom and gloom that most people approach failure with.
What do you think is, as you've seen maybe some people coming in and maybe they don't have a business now, and you might have seen divorces, I don't know, in the GTK group. Have you seen that? And has it been because they were in, like, what's been one of the things that you're like, man, this is the one thing that they need?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the one thing because everyone's situation is unique. Mm-hmm. But yes, we've seen business owners that have come to Gathering the Kings that no longer own businesses anymore. Unfortunately, we've seen husbands and wives come to Gathering the Kings and they're no longer husbands and wives. And, life is hard. It hits hard and it doesn't stop, to the point that we made at the beginning of this podcast. Mm-hmm. Time doesn't slow down for anyone. Yeah. I think in the instances where I've seen business owners come into Gathering the Kings and don't have businesses anymore, it's one of two things. They are either growing so quickly. What people underestimate is that growth takes a ton of cash capital, mm-hmm. right? And access to money can be difficult for a small business owner to be able to grow the business. And so a lot of people get stuck and stagnated into the level of business they have because they can't afford to invest in growth. And so the couple of people that I'm thinking about that have come in to Gathering the Kings, their businesses have grown so quickly that they haven't had access to cash. And it's actually what has bankrupted them, which sounds counterintuitive to the listener. Like, how can you have growth and success and that be the reason that you're out of business? Mm-hmm. But it's true. And in the other instance, it's people that don't have systems in place, that they're just winging life. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They've got a great widget. They've got great customer service. They've got the ability to sell really well. But none of that stuff is systematized and they can't rely on a team. And so they're the one that's driving everything. And what that causes is this just environment where you feel like you're alone. You feel like you have to do it all. You can't take a break. There's no opportunities for vacations, or, can't unplug for Sunday to go to church. Can't have that date night with the wife or the husband because you're the driver behind everything. And so being able to systemize the processes that you're putting in place to allow other people onto the team will give you the opportunity to grow.
I think, again, that's why I like it. And looking at our book and the moving from chaos to still, it doesn't have to be money. We are in the financial world. I would pick something else otherwise. I mean, like, seriously, I don't know what the heck I was doing when I did this one. And it's weird, like life insurance. I'm like, seriously, we were in the church planning world and we had to get people, or in order to be a part of us, it's a conversion, right? And then you take communion, you drink the body and blood of Jesus, right? And now I'm selling life insurance, and in order to work with me, I have to get your blood. And I'm like, oh my gosh, for real? Like, why do I have to have blood involved in everything? Yeah. This is nuts. But I'm like, literally, it's a big commitment. So I want to show the group as we're going through this video. And if you've kind of veered off, the reason we're doing this is because we value business owners. We hugely value business owners. I know Amanda and I do, and we've seen the heartache. I've almost been divorced because of it. We've almost lost our life because of it. couple times. The things don't stop. Family still has issues. I still have a mother-in-law that is a pain, and she's still listening. If you're listening, I still love you, even though you're a pain sometimes. But and we have all the other things, right? Family, fitness. We gotta make sure. Even though I have a 7-year-old, I gotta make sure that I'm being taken care of. I want to be around. And so being a part of a community that is helping you do that is why I'm a part of GTK. And I want to show the listeners or viewers, if you're watching on YouTube, the Gathering the Kings. The reason I like to show this is because, let's face it, you guys, you'll listen to me and Jake, you'll listen to the podcast, but you'll never go to the website because I'll say it, but then you'll forget, right? So I wanted to kind of open the door, almost like if you're running in a restaurant or a coffee shop or any of that. We always say we're going to go to the place, but we never actually walk into the place because we're scared to walk in the doors because they think that somebody's going to bite us. Well, this is your front door experience. So anything you want to share, and you might see me in this, it's living in the exceptional life, living in not just business, but in other areas. So anything that you want to say, hey, these guys should totally check out this part of the website.
Yeah. I appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you very much. It's such a kind intro. And, for the people that are watching the scrolling video, what I want you to take away from this is it's fun, right? Life can be fun. We have done some incredibly cool things. We've been to some incredibly amazing places together. We talk about all the time that we want to live life together. It's husbands and wives. It's sons and daughters. It's the things that really matter in life. Success in a silo is lonely. And what Gathering the Kings does is allows you to be in a group of people, in a community of people that understand the pain, but can also celebrate the success. We have a mutual friend, his name's Carl, and he talks about how humans were designed for two things: to celebrate joy with each other and to carry weight. And I want to be someone that celebrates joy with you and Amanda and all the successes of your teams. But I also want to be there to carry weight with you when life hits a little bit harder than it normally does. And so that is the point of what we're trying to create with Gathering the Kings. We want to live life with people.
Yeah, and it's not just talking about business. I know you have marriage coaches that are involved. You have, I do some of the finance side. Oh, look, there I was right there. And there's events where we travel to various fun places. You also in this is involve the kids. And the reason I really like the family mastermind is, and I'm going to go ahead and move away and go back to us here. It's totally join. If you guys want to check out, go to gtk.gatheringthekings.com and say, I don't want to talk to Chaz, leads it too, but say, I don't want to talk to Chaz. I want to talk to Jake and learn from Jake. You can totally do that. But, I think you'll end up talking to Chaz. He's great too, by the way. But the reason I love hanging out with Jake a lot. So, and let me stop this. What was I getting? Oh, so we were talking about family. So one of the things that I was trying to figure out is also as a entrepreneur, business owner, is involving our kids. My son, I swear, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was raised on federal assistance. We didn't have any money. It was crazy. Single mom, 7 stepdads, I don't know, a lot. And now my son gets to travel the world. Of course, I get to go with him, so that's even better. But we've been intentional about, where he goes. And so I love with Gathering the Kings, we include the kids. There's a finance component where we're teaching them how to be entrepreneurs, how to be business owners, how to think about money is one thing. You lead some of that is asking the kids how to make money. I think that's pretty powerful because even in our education system, most seniors don't know how money works. And they've been around for 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
Why has that been so important? I know you don't have kids yet.
I do not.
Why is talking about this stuff with kids a value to you?
Yeah, I mean, not to be cliche, but to steal a line from Michael Jackson, they are our future. The kids are our future. And right now, there are just not a lot of environments where children are being taught success principles. They're not being taught about investing. They're not being taught about saving money. They're not being taught about the things that they can do now to help them be successful. So at the top of the year in January of 2025, we launched a program called Generation Next. And it's for students ages 8 to 18 that just want to learn about entrepreneurship. They want to learn about business ownership. How can we take the corner lemonade stand and really grow that practically? We do a monthly call. We have a micro community inside of Gathering the Kings for the students where they get to interact with each other on a daily basis. And it's just a lot of fun watching. We actually just had our May GXT call earlier this month, and we were talking about being intentional with time. We were talking about setting up what we call the big 3. And that's where students are putting a plan in place today for what they're going to accomplish tomorrow. And just setting those 3 things up so that they know what they need to do tomorrow when they wake up. And so right now, inside of our GXT app, we've got kids that are posting their 3 goals that they're going to accomplish on a daily basis right now. And it's so fun to be able to interact and be a part of those conversations with them and see their little brains working and maturing. It may be as simple as like, today I want to help my mom with the groceries for some of our younger students. And it could be, hey, I need to get my paycheck from my boss and I'm going to invest 10% and figure out what mutual fund I need to invest that 10% in. And so the experience runs the gamut with the kids, but it's a lot of fun.
I know, like, my son has asked lots of questions about money. I mean, he is literally right now in investing club with mom. So who knows what he's going to learn? We'll figure it out in a few. I'll ask him questions when he comes back. So this is the website, gatheringthekings.com. If you are a business owner, I would say, I was thinking about this, is another Michael Jackson quote is, start with a man or woman in the mirror.
Yeah.
And we've thought about this as well. It starts with you. What kind of person do you want to be? It doesn't just, hey, let's let my kids just figure it out. But it starts with you as the business owner and the entrepreneur and investing in yourself. And again, this is the overflow principle. As you are able to take care of you, it'll flow into your family, your community, and the world. But you have to invest in you. And I believe that this is one of those places. And then Jake and Chaz will help you invest in your kids, right? It takes what do they say? It takes a tribe or something. I don't know, something.
Takes a village.
Takes a village. I mean, I only know Michael Jackson quotes, not other quotes. So with that said, anything you want to end this time on, anything you want to say, man, I want to do a mic drop and just say, I don't know, get in the community or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't know that I'm much of a soundbite mic drop person, but I'll say this. I'll tie it back to what we talked about in the beginning. Gino Wickman, when he wrote the book Traction and set up the system for EOS, they talked about how every business owner, every entrepreneur needs 3 things in their life. They need a coach, they need a system, and they need a community. And what Gathering the Kings does is it fulfills one of those 3 tenets that you need in order to be successful. And so we need people in our lives. We need experts to help us move forward, which is why I absolutely love this show. And I love what you and Amanda are doing around taking your expertise in the financial world and helping people understand how they can invest differently to set themselves up for success. It doesn't need to be the 401k mindset is the only way that you're going to set yourself up for success. And so just commend you two for continuing to pour out and give to people based off of the overflow from your knowledge. I think it's so important. And finding experts like Brandon and Amanda in the different areas of life that you want to win in, it's really, really important.
Awesome. Well, and I appreciate that, Jake. So, guys, thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget, share this, especially if you go to a business regularly. I would bet you, here's what I would leave you guys with, is thank the people who run that business. They probably don't hear it very much. And so thank them, share this video, and make sure that they are doing well as well. I remember, again, running our business and people would ask, how's it going? And they really didn't care, but really asking, how's it going, and care for those people that are running the business. And if you're on a team, being in that world of not entrepreneur, but entrepreneur of that, you're helping them. Ask them, how can I serve more? That might help them a lot. So thanks, Jake, for being here. I'm excited that we were able to finally do this. And don't forget, hit the like, subscribe, and share this with a business owner that you love.